Wait to get started. I know there are classes again.
There we go.
Hi, YouTube. So there's a class, I think, at 8 a.m. today with Alex, which is, I think, a movement class, which would be lovely. So if you're done here and feel like keeping moving, stay with Alex, and there's other classes throughout the rest of the day, including yoga this evening. Going to tell you what we're working on this morning for our Yin practice, and then we'll begin the practice. Once again, remember this is a very still practice. I will try not to talk, but then I think you guys are bored, so then I talk. So I will try not to talk. Today we're going to be working on the stomach. And the stomach, I was thinking yesterday when I was putting this together, I wanted to work on digestion. So today we're working on the stomach. It's paired with the spleen. It receives and digests food, which we know. It stores food and water. And when qi is weak in the stomach, food stagnates and digestive problems can occur. We're going to start by either lying down or seated, and then we're going to progress. We're actually going to start standing today, which is a little yawny, but not too bad. So have a seat or lie down. Take a moment to get comfortable. If you're seated, feel free to sit on a blanket. I like to sit on a bit of a folded blanket. You could use a beach towel. You could use even a pillow, and then I'll sit on the edge. If I'm choosing to sit instead of lie down, it allows my hips to tilt forward nicely so that I'm upright instead of that slouch. If you are lying down, give yourself a moment just to kind of get your body set. And then wherever you are, wherever you're choosing to be at this point, close your eyes. Take a deep inhale through the nose and exhale out the mouth. Inhale and exhale. 2 or 3 more, really focusing on the exhale, getting rid of the ickies, the stagnants. And just start to inhale and exhale through the nose. Not changing anything, just getting that breath flowing in and out through the nose. And then deepen the breath. And by deepening the breath, I mean expand through the belly. Feel the belly rise and fall instead of the chest or the ribs. Start that deep breath, like you're watching a baby sleep, if you ever have, or a dog or a cat, and their belly rises and falls. So inhaling, exhaling through the nose, belly rise and fall. We're going to do this for about 2 more minutes. Focusing on the sensation of the breath. 2 more breaths, nice and easy. If you are on the floor, roll to your right side. And gently using the hands and the string, come on up to a standing, or get yourself standing. Everybody find themselves standing. And we're going to come into dangle. And dangle is something that we do all the time. We're just going to come into this forward fold. And in this forward fold, if this is not comfortable, we're going to be here for about 2 minutes, you can bend the knees as much as you want. We're really thinking about compression in the front body more than lengthen through the hamstrings today. And this is a specific pose. You're going to let the head hang nice. This is going to work on the urinary bladder, liver, spleen, and kidney. So come into this for 2 minutes. My hands are in the opposite elbow crease. And for me, I like to bend my knees. And I'm not going to worry about where the weight is in my feet. I'm not going to worry if I'm pulling my head towards the ground or how much my knees bend. Just going to hang. Start to feel the sensations in the body. Not controlling the breath, just breathing. Head is hanging. Is one side different than the other? Does the leg feel different in one leg than the other? It's okay if your knees want to bend more. I'm finding myself kind of swaying a little bit, which is cool. About 45 more seconds. Let the shoulders relax. Whew. Ten more seconds right here. Feel yourself starting to let go of those arms if you want. Then to get out of this, you're going to start to become aware of your feet. Press them into the floor. Bend the knees if they're not, and then slowly roll up one vertebra at a time. We're going to come into a squat. You can roll up your mat if you are somebody like me whose heels don't come all the way down to the ground. Or I'm going to use my blanket. Okay, by using my blanket, it allows my ankles that don't move so well. Oscar, that's enough. It's not grounding you. It allows my heels to come up a little bit. Sorry. So you're going to come into the squat. Heels are up, butt is down, and we're just going to hang out right here for about 2 minutes. You can let the arms go anywhere, head anywhere. So I am literally in this squat. So this squat, and if you feel this compression in the ankles specifically, is going to give you the spleen that we're looking for digestion, gallbladder, and urinary bladder. And we're still working the liver, kidney, and urinary bladder either way. I think So we're going to be here about another minute or so. Paying attention to where you feel this sensation. I've chosen to prop my head because it feels better. Do you feel this in your ankles? Are your knees okay? If not, I'd like you to get out of this and come into child's pose. Okay. So where are you feeling this sensation? About 30 seconds. Let everything go. So to come out of this, you're going to shift the weight forward. Using your hands, come back to standing ever so gently. Actually, you can come right into your dangle. So we're going to do another 2 minutes just in our dangle. Hands can again come into the elbow crease. So it looks like that. Knees can bend as much as you want. I am not paying attention right now to how much weight is in each foot. I'm just trying to let this whole body of mine relax and hang. Remember, you can bend the knees as much as you need to, focusing on the sensation in your body. About another minute, please. Breath is not being controlled, just let it come naturally. Deep, shallow, whatever your body is doing, let it do. So it's one of those chances in life where we really do get to let go. About 10 more seconds. From here, slowly roll up. Give yourself a break. As you roll up, lift the arms up overhead. Just a nice stretch. Coming into our next pose, it's going to be toe squat, which for some people is really quite uncomfortable. So I'm only do this for the amount of time that feels good, okay? When you are done with this, I just want you to come into a seated posture on top of the heels if you can, or just a crisscross applesauce or an easy pose as it's called. So to come into a toe squat, shift your weight forward and grab the toes and actually spread them apart. Try to get every toe on the ground. My knees are together. Okay, and then I'll start our timer right away, and this is our toe squat. I am going to try to let myself relax. I'm letting my belly relax. I'm letting my shoulders relax. And once again, if you're feeling this in the ankles, you're going to get a little bit of the compression is going to be the spleen, liver, stomach, and gallbladder, just like before. And the lower body meridians that are all being hit. And that includes liver, gallbladder, kidney, urinary bladder, spleen, and stomach like I talked about. So everything in the lower body is being hit. So we've been here about 30 seconds, I'm sorry to say. When you are done with this, just sit. This is not always comfortable. It's a great way to open up the arches though. Hang out with me. About another minute. If this is hurting your knees, also get out of it. I'm not looking for greatness. I want you to get through the rest of the day without pain. Actually, the rest of, the entire spring. About 45 more seconds. I notice my heels want to come out, so I'm just letting my heels come out instead of having them pulled together. Okay, 15 seconds, we're almost done. Oh. Nice and relaxed. To come out of this, get off your darn toes, come into a tabletop, and actually smack your feet onto the ground, which feels really good. You're just kind of getting out all that stuff. So I'm smacking the tops of my feet. Nice. So you're going to like this one. From here, all right, we're already down here. We're going to come into a child's pose. So find yourself in your child's pose. And in a child's pose, you can choose to have your hands ahead or by your sides. Your toes or your feet can be wide, or your knees can be wide. If you need a little support, look up, little boy. If you need a little support, you can actually sit on a little something. I know, I see you. So coming into that child's pose, nice and soft and relaxed. And Oscar's going to help us with our child's pose. So this child's pose, I'll let you know now, as you get comfortable, is spleen, stomach is compressed. And at that same time, the kidney and urinary bladder is stretched. So it's that nice balance. So come and stay in that child's pose. You've only been here about a minute, and we're going to be here quite a bit longer. Let your forehead come to the ground.
Come on up.
As you get.
Come on.
Go on.
Touch. Oscar, touch.
Nice and relaxed. And again, if this is uncomfortable for you, you can take a little something to relieve the stress in the knees and put it on top of the calves and then come into it. As you stay in this pose, let the hands go wherever they want, wherever they're most comfortable. The forehead grows heavy in this child's pose. What does your breath feel like when it's compressed? It being your chest. And just experience that sensation of having the front body compressed against the thighs. Let the body shift to whatever side it wants to. And slowly notice how your body changes shape from which you started. So remember, the pose is in the body. You're not shoving the body into the pose. So you're really letting this become an organic form and shape.
About 2 more minutes. You're doing beautiful. Just trying to focus on staying calm and still. That's the hardest part, is staying still. At least for me.
A little over a minute left. Nice, relaxed child's pose. Focusing on that digestion. Those meridians, the stomach and the spleen specifically today. Not trying to change anything, just letting the body go where it needs to go. Experiencing sensation as it happens. "30 more seconds in child's pose, please." Coming out of this child's pose, okay, you're going to slowly round the back and lift yourself up, finding yourself seated on the heels again. From here, let the hands sweep behind you and just come into a really very gentle back bend. Great. And then we're going to come into Sphinx or seal, whatever you want it to be. To come into this, you're going to let the legs lengthen behind you. Your forearms are going to be on the ground, okay? And I'm just letting myself come into a nice gentle back bend. First, I'm going to shut that door, okay? Nice gentle back bend. If this gets too intense for me, if this lower back is delicate, I may just come down onto my hands or stack my fists on top of each other. I'm still getting that sensation in my back. If you are somebody that has a little more mobility in the lower back, you can come with the arms straight. You are going to be here for about 3 minutes, so know where you want to go, okay? Nice, easy, coming on into this Sphinx. So the Sphinx we did last week, and it really comes into what we were talking about, the door of life, okay, between the lumbar 2-3. It was called Jing, and remember, that's Taoist. In philosophy, it's a primal life force or essence that's found there, and it depletes as we age. So not only are we finding this compression in the spleen stomach lines and working on our digestion, we're also really stoking the energy found that is the essence of life. So you've got about another 2 minutes or so. If you are up with arms straight, feel free to let the head hang. Feel free to find a prop to hold yourself up. Let the hips release, the toes just soften, letting yourself come gently into this back bend. About another 1.5 minutes. 45 seconds or so. Take inventory. Has your body changed shape? Has your weight shifted? Has sensation moved from one point in your body to the other? About 15 or so seconds, please. Slowly, using your hands, come up into your tabletop. From your tabletop, find that alignment with the knees and hips lining up, shoulder width apart, and the arms and wrists, or the shoulders and wrists. And just coming into some nice cat-cows, inhaling, lifting the chest. Exhale, round. Really keeping the arms straight. Inhale, letting the belly drop as the hips lift. Exhale, finding the shoulder blades coming apart. 2 or 3 more. And then exhale, come into that neutral. We are now going to come into sleeping swan. We're going to start with our right leg, okay? So it's going to look like my left, but it's really my right leg. So starting in tabletop, you are going to be here for about 3 minutes. So please find that support that you might want to put underneath the right bum when we come into this. This is basically pigeon pose. Take that right knee to the right wrist, right ankle, left wrist. So you're kind of becoming parallel to the front of your mat. And then take any support you need. I'm going to put this underneath my tailbone so I'm supported and not in pain, because for me it's not comfortable. So it's okay to have this blanket underneath the sit bone. And as you go into this pose, you might shift a little bit, and that's okay. Then if you find pain in your knee, you can bend the knee a little more, so you're changing that angle. That shin becomes a little less parallel to the front of the mat. So finding your chest lifting, and then exhaling, walk your hands long, finding or allowing your chest to hit the floor as best it can. Also, you can use the forearms to keep yourself up. You can use the, I like to stack my fists and use them as pillows for my head. So here we lie, nice and relaxed. As you stay here, really, it's okay to let the body's weight shift from one side to the other. Pay attention or focus on that sensation as you sit in the pose. And really finding out what the body is up to. Remember, this should not be uncomfortable in your knee. Let go of that belly tension. So this sleeping swan that you're in. Works the liver and the kidney and stomach and spleen and gallbladder and urinary bladder. So it's a heavy hitter. And you got about another minute right here. Remember, letting the body go. If it shifts, it being your body shifts to one side or another, that's fine. Let the chest release. About another 10 seconds. Nice. Walk your hands up. Oof. Nice. Underneath the shoulders. Remove whatever's in your way. Tuck the back toe under and step to a down dog. Feel free to shake out that leg that has been in the front. Couple of breaths, couple moments in this down dog. And then come back to your tabletop. Now we're not going to go into Sphinx, or excuse me, we're not going to go into Sleeping Swan on that left side yet. I want you just to come to a seated posture. And so this is deer pose. I think for some people it might be hard or confusing. I don't think it is. So you're going to find yourself starting in crisscross, right? I'm going to show you from the side. This is my left leg. I'm going to take my left leg back, okay? And I'm going to place my right arch on top of my knee, all right? So it looks like this, okay? And then from here, you're going to rotate over this right thigh, and you can either lie yourself down as such, or keep yourself upright. It doesn't matter if sit bones come off the ground as you do this. It's just this yummy sensation. So when you're ready, rotate and rest. You're going to be here for about 3 minutes. So this, by twisting over this front leg, okay, my right knee, I'm hitting my gallbladder. If you feel a thigh stretch, you're also hitting your stomach and spleen. So allow yourself to just drop into this deer pose. Another 2 minutes. Pay attention to the sensation. Feel what's going on in your body, how movement of, how your attention moves to different parts of the body as the pose progresses, and how your body shifts and morphs. It's kind of fascinating if you just observe, kind of step back and observe the experience. About another minute. 30 more seconds, please. Slowly walk yourself up. Nice. And just kind of open up the chest, slide back, bend, and then come back to that tabletop, working a sequence now on our left side. So starting again with our sleeping swan. Pardon me. So taking this left leg, moving it forward, trying to find parallel to the front of the mat. Remember, you can bend this leg, decreasing and changing that angle to the front of the mat to protect the back or the knee. Find support if you need it underneath the left glute, and then get yourself comfy. From here, you're going to walk yourself out only as far as feels good, because we want this compression in the belly, but at the same time, we don't want to hurt ourselves. From here, just let the forearms be your prop. Let the elbows be your prop, but you can let those shoulders sink. You know, so often when we're practicing anything like this, I really usually want the shoulder girdle set, but in a yin pose, that's not what we're about. We're about letting the body soften, letting those ligaments, actually those tendons and bones, find their way. So we get to stop dictating what our body does, because we spend so much time telling our body what to do and how to do it, that right now it's telling us to be quiet and listen. Let the head relax. Find yourself, if you need to go a little deeper, go deeper. It's better to start a little farther back into the pose instead of having to back yourself out of it in the middle of the pose. Walk yourself into it as you go. About 45 seconds, please. Twenty more seconds. Walk yourself up, putting those hands, using those arms to lift you. And we're going to come into that down dog. In your down dog, feel free to just kind of shake that left leg out. Walk the dog a little bit, feeling that left heel, right heel dropping. Waking that back body up a little bit, getting some length. A few breaths here. Boy, this feels good. I like this down dog. Coming back to this tabletop, and then having a seat. We're going to come into that deer pose. In the deer pose, my left shin is going to line up, and then I'm going to shift a little bit. I'm going to bend my back leg. Knee is bent. Right leg, or right arch comes onto the knee. Okay, so I'm like that, seated. Finding my hips squared, rotating, we're going to come over this left leg. So we're going to have a bit of a twist coming into it. So I'm not letting this my right chest lift. I'm really twisting down into it. And that twist is what we want, along with the compression, so we can hit that digestive tract. And remember, it is better to start a little out of it, a little backed off, and then find yourself going deeper naturally. Halfway there, please. Nice, easy breaths. About another minute. Let the body just go wherever it wants. You got about 34 seconds, 35 seconds or less. Nice. Walk yourself up nice and slow. Reach both legs long this time. Okay. Walk your hands behind you and just let your chest open. Stretch the legs long. I think we have time. Cool. So we're going to come into half butterfly with a rotation. So you're going to find yourself at about 90 degrees to 120 degrees. Take this left leg, or your right leg, okay, and bring it into this, in towards your groin, but my heel isn't in my groin, and rotate towards that straightened leg. From here, we're going to do very similar to what we just did. If you notice, I start firing up this foot of mine, so I want you to relax it. You know, habits can be great and sometimes not so much. So as we rotate over this, you can use your fists to keep yourself up, your hands. You can find yourself letting the head release. But this should be a really gentle stretch. Letting this whole straight leg almost find ease. It's okay if it rolls open to one side. It's A-okay if your back rounds. I'd like you though to stay twisted over towards this leg in general. So I'm going to stay quiet for the next 2 minutes just to see if I can. Let yourself really focus on the sensations inside. Head is relaxed, jaw is trying to relax, and breathing naturally. One more minute. Walk yourself up. Bring your legs in front of you again. Hands behind you. Reach the legs long as you just open the chest. Come back to that 90, 120 degree lengthen the leg. Opposite leg now bends, taking that heel towards the groin but not in the groin. Rotating the belly completely towards that knee and then letting yourself hang. Okay, different side, different story, as we always say. Head can stay relaxed. Let those toes release. So I always end up flexing my feet. So I'm really going to invite you guys to be as sloppy as you want to be. How often does that happen? And then come into sensation. What do you feel where? Let your eyes close if you want them to, or you can just choose a point to look at. Halfway there. Has sensation shifted? Or is the body exactly the same as when you started a minute and a half or so ago? Are you still breathing? One more minute. I'm going to be quiet for the next minute.
walk yourself up. Reach the legs long.
Point the toes and lift the chest. Nice arch in the back. Coming into our twists. Okay, we're going to stay 3 minutes in each twist. Lying on your backs. Feet can be as wide as you want them to be. Arms can be up or down. And just allow the knees to come to one side. Let yourself completely relax. Know that if the knees are higher, you're gonna have a twist more towards the upper part of the body. Knees lower, lower part of the body. Okay, whatever you want to focus on, do that. And remember, it's okay if the knees don't align. It's okay if one leg wants to do something other than the right, or the twist morphs and changes. Just let the body do whatever it needs to. Let it take its own shape. Halfway there on this side. Let the spine release. If you find you've got, for instance, my knees are to the left, and if my right arm were dangling and not supported by the floor, if yours is doing the same thing, bend that right elbow, put the right hand on the ribs to let that shoulder girdle soften and be supported. You got about 45 seconds. Bring your knees back to center. Feel free to hug them in if you'd like. And then exhale, knees back down, shoulders back down, and switch to the opposite side. You're going to be here again for 3 minutes. Remembering the higher the knees are to the chest, the higher up that twist goes into the spine. So it's really dealer's choice or yogi's choice. And again, if you are twisted and you notice that far arm, so if I'm twisted to my right now, if my left arm were dangling, okay, you're going to bend that left elbow, tuck the elbow in towards the ribs, and put the left hand on the rib cage. Do not let that shoulder joint just suspend. Let the hips release, let the control of the body release. Feel free to turn your head in either direction or keep it neutral. You got about 2 minutes.
About 1 more minute. I want you all to stay there in this last pose. About another minute, just softly twisting. I hope you all have beautiful Mondays. It's supposed to be gorgeous today. Letting that body continue to relax and soften. We have about 30 seconds left. After 30 seconds, here's what you're going to do. You're going to find yourself bringing the knees back to center and curl yourself up for a breath, and then you're going to come into your Shavasana. You can stay in your Shavasana as long as you like. Use that Shavasana in about 15 seconds when you're done with this pose to scan the body and see what's up. Do you feel different? Do you feel the same? So I'd like you to bring your knees up and hug them into your chest. Curl up into a little ball. And then stretch yourself long and lie yourself down. Nice. Enjoy your Shavasana. Stay here as long as you would like. Namaste. Thank you very much.